Today we are going to be drawing and painting our giant bug jars. So this is what your artwork will look like when it is all done. We are going to start out today by drawing our bug jar. So make sure you're drawing lightly with a pencil. Please make sure your name and class code is on your paper before you start. And here we go. So I would like you to start about 1.5 inches from the top, and you're going to draw 2 guide dots for the top of your bug jar. I would say that's about 5 inches apart, and then this is going to be a foreshortened circle, just a long stretched out circle to make the top of your bug jar. You should be sketching, drawing lightly. Notice how I traced over my lines a couple of times, and you would be doing that with your pencil to make the top of your bug jar. Then on each side you are going to draw about just a straight line coming down that's about 1 inch long. Do that on each side, about 1 inch long for the top of your jar. Then after that you will draw another curve to connect the bottom of these lines that's just like this curve. So just a slight curve, and this will help this to look 3D. Right, when you are done with that, you're going to make 2 short lines that's just a little ways in from the top of the jar. Okay. And then you will be curving out to the side of your jar. Notice how I have about 2 inches of room, and I'll have hopefully about the same amount on each side. Okay, so about 2 inches of room on each side. Then before I go and make my lines that go all the way down, I will have you make kind of a guideline that's about 2 or 3 inches from the bottom of your paper, just to show where you want the bottom of your jar to be. So just go ahead and make a dot there. Then we will bring these lines that we've already started down here, and when you start to get close to this dot, you are going to curve in for the bottom of your jar. Notice how I'm drawing lightly, I'm sketching carefully. It's not going to be a perfect line right away. So again, I'll do the same thing on this side. Do your best to make this part of your jar nice and straight. Then again, when you get close here, you'll start to curve in to the bottom of your jar. And I would go back and erase that line. Alright, so that is the basic drawing for your jar. Your next step would then be to kind of just make another foreshortened circle at the bottom, just very lightly, to show that the bottom of your jar is round. So this front part of your jar would be rounded off, and then it would kind of go around. Since this is see-through, it's a clear jar that we can see through. You could also add some extra little lines that kind of show that there's a shine on your jar, if you wanted to do that as well. Okay, then we want to draw one more line before we paint. We're doing this with our pencil. And this is just going to be your grass line. So our jar is sitting in grass, and because it's see-through, we can kind of see that grass behind it. So just drawing some kind of jagged lines for grass, even through your jar. After that, you can trace everything that you drew with your jar in Sharpie. But I would not trace the grass lines in Sharpie, just the lines of the jar. So go ahead and trace that.